Hi everyone, welcome to my presentation. Thank you so much for tuning in. I wanted to tell you about my 8 weeks at Infosys and how I had such a good time. And I wanted to start off by kind of giving a shout out to my managers, Prasad, Lakshmi, and Narupa. They were all fantastic and guided me through. So it was a special shout out to Professor William Heffley for giving me a lot of guidance and a lot of information as well. So I started off by getting acquainted with the company, and then in weeks 2 to 3, I started to get into my team, which is the enterprise architecture. I started out by asking what enterprise architecture actually was and got down to the kind of basics of what is it, what do you get from the value, the strategy, and the means as well as the inputs. The three philosophies and the four methodologies, or kind of the open ended foundations, and got into just the basics. And so from weeks 3 to 4, I started to look at how it actually functions in a team situation. So I looked at what does a team actually look like compared to what we have implemented in our clients as well as Infosys's network. And I looked at the things that popped out to me and established two new roles for the team, an enabling architect as well as an architectural destroyer. Gave me a lot of confidence moving forward that I was going in the right direction, and they were giving me really good feedback. So from weeks 4 to 6, I started to look at how do we monitor and establish a project. And so I started by looking at the different documentation systems that are working in EA. And these were the most popular documentation systems, which were similar to what I found in my first week. The TOGAF and the Zachman model being the most popular, and those are the ones that I actually went with. The Zachman being the foundation, and the TOGAF being the best one to go for increasing complexity, and then the rest to be used as you need for different projects going forward. So I looked into the different documentation systems and found a lot of really good information, but decided to go with the TOGAF model, which was different from what they were using. They were using the Zachman method at Infosys, which was fascinating to me, but they decided to let me go forward with the TOGAF method to see what I found. And so I wanted to look at the models, the deliverables, and the frameworks. So we're going from here. I looked at the 1 through 10 method that TOGAF actually gives in their textbook when they're giving when they're actually going through and teaching somebody about the EA methods, as well as forming a hypothesis as the 11th step. And so each of these kind of gives you the 1 through 10 method gives you a really good distinguished idea of how you should set up a EA project using different like tools in your tool belt. And from there, I wanted to look at the different metrics that existed in my final week. And I found that you can't really measure EA in a meaningful way because it's so broad when it comes to real metrics. So you kind of got to be like a track star and measure yourself. That's why I said process metrics were the most important. See, the standard method of like measuring value doesn't really work since it's such a broad concept. So I looked into kind of like the ones that were used in the space right now, and they're actually communicating with me even past my internship to figure out if I could look into it more, which would be interesting because I don't know if I want to work for free. But nonetheless, it was very fun, and I had a great time and found that these were the overall metrics that they would want to use, and you could form a basket of KPIs if you wanted. And that was the end of my internship. I really enjoyed it. Thanks, UTD.